Okay, so let us begin. I'm going to try to remember all the details that I can and give you the most detailed tournament report that I can, though I will probably forget some stuff, so bear with me. Anyways, first matchup here was versus Prowess. Okay, let me see if I can just pull up their deck list too. Yeah, just versus Prowess, you know, just your standard Habita Hibita. Oh, where'd it go? Okay. Anyways, I played versus this person. Also, all of my opponents were very nice. I don't think there was a single opponent that was rude or toxic or bad in any way, shape, or form. There were some that, I think there was a couple that got frustrated. But that's natural, right? I mean, they weren't like mad at me, right? They weren't taking it out on me. It was more of like just being frustrated in the moment. So I don't blame anyone for doing that, right? If you're passionate about Magic, you know that happens. So first round against Prowess, I got this 1-2. I opted to play the Habita Hibita version. So I opted to play the Dredger's version because I got a big feeling. I got a very strong feeling that Boros and Prowess were going to be like the top decks at this tournament. I don't know why. I just got that feeling, and I was correct. The top three were it was like Boros, Prowess, Jeskai Blink. Jeskai Blink being the most popular. And all three of those decks cannot beat Infinite Life. So, very nice. Glad I could run into you with Dingo. Hey, yes, sir. So, the first match of playing Prowess, I believe, I don't remember if I win the die roll or not, but I think for all of the Prowess matchups that I get paired into, my main goal, the main thing that I'm thinking about is I just need to find Insight, and I need to gain 1,000,000 life. That's my goal. I just need to find Insight, I need to find Ballista, Young Wolf, and then the game's over. So that was my main game plan for Prowess, for Boros, for all those matchups here. And that's what I did. In this match, I believe in the game 1, I got infinite life, and my opponent was just like, yeah, I can't beat that. And we go to game 2. And then game 2, a little bit more back and forth, and I don't find the Insight, but I do find the Cauldron plus the Spymaster's Vault and Young Wolf. And then my opponent was tapped out, so I started doing the thing. I'm like, ping here, ping. I'm like, I would like to ping my Young Wolf 38 times. And they're like, okay. I'm like, okay, I'm going to activate Spymaster's Vault. And they said, okay. And then I got all the counters. I counted the cards in my library. I discarded. I'm like, okay, I'm going to shoot you 15 times to kill you. And he was like, all right. That was it. This player, a very nice person. They actually hadn't seen Yawgmoth ever before because they started playing after Yawgmoth kind of fell out of the meta. So it was kind of cool to show him, the deck. And show, that's a lot of people actually noted that when I was playing this weekend. They were like, oh, it's been so long since I played against Yawgmoth. So I got a little bit of a tiny percentage there, people not knowing exactly what's going on. But most of them did. Most of them were familiar with the deck. Next matchup is versus Domain Zoo. It was versus Domain Zoo? No, was it? I don't remember that. Oh, it was. Okay. Oh, okay. This is one of my friends. This was my friend who, he's like a friend of a friend he was like traveling with my other friends. I know this person by proxy. It's like, you have like your group of friends who play Magic, and you have your close friends that you hang out with a lot, and then you have the friends who are there who are friends with your other friends, but you're not really friends with them, but you're still cool, you're still chill with them. That's this guy. So, nice guy. The deck list is kind of, I get why they would put that, because their deck list is kind of unique. So it's not Boros Domain Zoo. It's just Boros playing land destruction. So they had like White Orchid Phantom, Ragavan, Solitude Flage, and then they had the 4 Price of Freedom and 4 Cleansing Wildfire. So they were just like destroying my lands, trying and like ephemerating their White Orchid Phantom, trying to like just get me out of the game. 1 mana! This guy has 1 mana tie. He got me 2 times with the mana tithe. God damn it. He has 1. All right. I guess I should have. No, yeah, the LCQ is closed deck list, by the way. So you don't get to see your opponent's deck list in LCQs. So I assumed he was playing like 2 or 3 or 4 mana ties because he got me twice with it. Anyways, so I believe I lose game 1. because he's able to just take out my lands, and then I can't come back from that. And then game 2, I gain infinite life, I believe. Oh wait, no, did I get it in 2? No. Or did I get it in 3? I thought I got it in 3. Yeah, it was in 3. Game 2, I gain infinite life, and then he agrees that he can't come back from it. And then we go to game 3. And game 3 is very back and forth. Like, he was destroying my lands, and then I was getting him. I think I'm able... He goes for a Solitude Ephemerate, I think, and I'm able to ping the Solitude in response by activating Cauldron after he ephemerates. And that was able to set him far back enough to where... Like, I bought myself enough time to get back into the game, and then I kind of just took over. I think I may have found Spymaster's Vault for a kill there. I'm not entirely sure. Or I think I just turned it sideways and took him out. But, unfortunately, had to take out a homie. It never feels good to do that. And then I think round 3 was versus Blue-White Blink. Or Blue-White, that was like Blue-White Blink Energy. So it was like playing Quantum Riddler, Guide Pride, Habita Hibita. I get this 1 and 2. I do believe I just gain infinite life for one of them, for the first one. And then my opponent agrees that they cannot win the game. And we go next. And then game 2... So, okay, this is a little bit funny. So game 2, my opponent asks to read Badgermole Cub. And I'm like, sure, yeah, here's Badgermole Cub. And so they pick it up, they read the card, and they put it back, and then they read it again, and then they put it back. And I'm like, okay. I think I'm in the middle of attacks or something, or I'm passing the turn. And then they go end step, Solitude Ephemerate on both of my lands that were turned into creatures because of Badgermole. Because I had 2 out because of a previous Badgermole. And he doesn't wait for the Ephemerate to resolve. He doesn't do it 1x1. He just snaps it off. Boom! Solitude Ephemerate, both your lands. And I was like, okay. And I make them go into exile. I put them back. And my opponent was just like, oh no. So they did not. I don't think they got down far enough on the card where it said graveyard or exile. Because I didn't have like the special cubs. I had the normal ones that had the reminder text. So opponent was unfortunately did not see that they came back from exile. So they came back, and then I was able to kill the Solitude with Ballista activation under a Cauldron before the Ephemerate rebound happened. And then from there the game was just over. And they wasted too many resources on things that just came back. So Badgermole W. Anyways. So then my 4th round, I go up against Living End, which I did not expect to see. They get game 1. They get game 1 off of an early Living End, which that gets back an Overlord, and then they're able to just like recur. They're able to recur Subtlety and Solitude to just like give me like no outs basically. That was basically the game there. So this is round 4 by the way. So I'm like, oh my god, like please just give me this one. And then game 2, we're going more back and forth, and I gain infinite life. I find a window where they don't have an endurance. The coast is cleared, no force or anything, or Brazen Borrower, and I go and I gain infinite life. And my opponent's like, okay, I declare I have 10 billion life. My opponent says, okay, you have 10 billion life, and they write it down on the paper. And I'm like, all right. And my opponent says, okay, and then I'm like, okay, pass turn. And then they continue playing the game. We go back and forth for like a couple turns, and they're full swinging into me with their whole board, milling themselves with Overlord, and then they're actually writing down on the paper like 10 billion minus like 7. I'm like, sure, yeah, I'll take it. I'm not blocking. And I was thinking they might have been doing this to like play for time and try to win that way. I was getting that kind of feeling. But then after 5 rounds, after like 5 turns of back and forth of me just taking damage, they're like, okay, we can go to the next game. So I'm like, all right, cool. So game 3, gonna be hard. They're gonna be on the play. They end up, they don't have a Living End on 3, thankfully. I get a Cauldron down, so I'm able to keep their graveyard in check. so they can't really go for a living end. Oh, it's weird. There's no deck list. But we're going back and forth, and then I find a bauble, a vexing bauble, and I stick the bauble. So this way, it just turns off their endurances. It turns off their green forces. It turns off their subtleties. Turns off their living end. So once I have the bauble in play, I'm feeling great. Twin, did you see me in Vegas? I don't know. Did I see you? You tell me. Yeah. So then we go back. I get the bauble in play, and that buys me enough time to just like build up my board, find my ballista, find like my combo, and I think I just win with the ballista activation. Yeah, I do a ballista activation or a Spymaster's Vault activation on my young wolf. I add 30 counters to it, and I ping them for 30, and they concede, and that was it. I didn't talk to you, but like always, multiple people said something about us looking alike. Did you take a picture with my friend at a previous RC? Maybe? Because my friend took a picture with someone who looks similar to me, and they said jokingly, "Oh, I met me MTG." I thought that was hilarious. That might have been. Don't think so. Okay. I would have to take a look. I don't know. I don't think I saw you. That'd be kind of funny though. We gotta do a picture. We gotta do side by side. And then, just as to give out how similar we look, okay, I will do that. And then game 5 was up against Sadly Frown. So they're on Boros Energy, and I asked them before the game, "Are you qualified?" Because might as well just ask. Because some people just playing LCQs just for fun, right? Or just to get the prizing, whatever. And this person, Sadly Frown, said yes, they were already queued, and I'm like, "Can you do a homie a favor, please?" And he was very, very, very nice enough to concede to me, get me in to the RC. Huge shout out, my boy. Very, very thankful. And this is gonna be important later. So just keep this in mind. This is gonna be important later. So that was my LCQ. I got it. Boom, locked for the actual RC. So now let's check out the actual RC lineup. All right, so I just run back the same 75. I don't make any changes. Me, honest question, because of financial reason, is Cub really necessary? Is it really the best version, or could ISO version be the same or better? So Cub feels really good. I don't know if it's better or not, because I've only had the card for a week, right? And I haven't done extensive testing on it. I was able to play 2 leagues. I played one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, and that was all the time I had before I had to go to Vegas. And then I played it at Vegas. It felt great at Vegas, but I can't say for certain yet because I haven't played with the card too much. So I actually just don't know. Financially, if you are feeling kind of iffy about it financially, I would say just don't do it. Also, it's kind of in a little bit of a weird spot because it's kind of causing havoc over in Standard from what I hear. And I know the next ban window isn't going to be for a while, but maybe something happens in February that causes the price to go down a little bit, and then that'll be good. But yeah, I mean, I also don't have them. I don't have Cubs either, so my best advice would just be borrow them if you have friends who have them. Just try to borrow and get a feel for yourself what you want to be doing, like proxy them if you can, if your play group or if your store is cool with that, just do that. Make fake copies of it and then don't tell anyone. Just don't do that. Just kidding. Yeah, I can't really tell you to go and buy them. I can't say for certain if they're the best way or they're the way we should be going. I can tell you it felt really, really good. It felt really good to have that burst of mana, to have that just like boom, that explosiveness. And I'm going to give you examples. I didn't really talk about the Cub in the first couple of games here, though it was very important. Actually, the Cub was important in the Boros versus the Boros Land Destruction deck because it was doubling my mana, or else I just wouldn't be able to cast my spells. So that was very nice. But there are more examples in the actual RC that I'll call attention to where Cub came out and was actually very, very cool. So let's jump right in. Was this first one versus Energy? Man, my memory's so bad. Hey, how'd you end up doing at the RC? I believe I saw you make day 2. Hey, I did pretty good. I went 10-5, and if you count that, I had the LCQ as well. So if you count that, I went 15-5. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. So I requeued for the next regional. I made prizing. I requeued for the next regional championship. So that feels good. I'm happy with how I did. This is the best that I've ever done in RC before. So can't be too upset. Especially with I was basically limit testing a new card. I was like, I played Badgermole for 2 days. I'm like, let's just do it. So with a brand new card, I also I messed up. There was a couple times where I forgot how much I miscounted the mana, meaning like I thought that I had less mana than I actually had. Like my mana dorks were tapping for 3 and I thought they were tapping for 2. So I was also misplaying. It didn't matter. Thankfully, it didn't matter too much, at least in the times that I remember. But when I had multiple moles out, I just forgot that they're supposed to tap for more. So, first game versus Boros Energy. I'll be honest, I don't remember what happened, but I got it. I think I just won this one by, I think I just gained infinite life. Game 2, I keep I think I remember this one. I gain infinite life in game 1. Game 2, I keep a hand that has a bunch of removal. I have like 2 fatal pushes, and endurance, and like a cauldron, I think. But I just don't draw into anything else, or I like don't find enough action to keep up with what they're doing. And then game 3, we're going back and forth. They have a whole bunch of tokens on their side. I have a calling ritual in my hand. I start the game with a calling ritual, and they just start. They go like Guide of Souls Double Pride, and they start making a billion tokens. And then I go to my turn. I'm able to cast the Rumble on 3 because I used or I'm able to cast the ritual on 3 because I had a Rumble, and they had like 10 things in play already or something crazy, like some crazy number, and I was still alive. I still had like, I don't know, like 10 life or something. But I resolve the ritual, get like 8 mana or 9 mana. I green sun for a grist, and I play a Yogg, I think, in my hand. And from there, the game is basically over. The next turn, they follow up with like they had a Johnny on the field, and also Ocelot Pride and all that. And then next turn they play a bombardment. So, I would literally I survived by 1 turn. Holy moly! I think they drew the bombardment off the top. But goddamn, yeah. So I'm able to get that there. Very nice. I think eventually I gain infinite life, or I just find a way to win. So feeling good. Getting the first game always feels good. And then immediately I get paired. I lose round 2 immediately. Man, I hate Affinity. It's so annoying. So I get paired into Affinity. Like historically, Affinity has been fine for us. But what am I supposed to do against a turn 1 Kappa Cannoneer in both games? You know, what am I supposed to do? What do we do? I don't know. Someone tell me. It was great to meet you again. I was rooting for you. Being back on Yogg, I eventually had to beat a Yogg player in Super Sunday event. I definitely did better during that event. Went 5-1. Hey! There you go. Very nice. Nice meeting you as well. Yes, sir. Hell yeah. I hope to see you and everyone else at future events, future Magic Cons, future RCs. Yes, sir. Yay, Commander cards. Yay. So my opponent was very nice. We're kind of joking around when he played his stuff. Oh! Sin. Oh my god, Sin Sipa. Oh, with that tier 1. Hey. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. Helps out a lot. So, I get paired into Affinity. They win the die roll. They get Kappa. It was either a Kappa turn 1 or turn 2, both games. And it was hard. Yeah, it was rough, especially on the draw. It was funny though. If I was on the play in game 1, there was a window where I could have gained infinite life, because my opponent tapped their Tormod's Crypt. That's what makes it extra hard too. They're just playing main deck like 3 to 4 Tormod's Crypts. So even if we have a window where they're taking like a slower hand, or they're like getting set up, especially with the Dredger's build, you can't really. There's no window. It's hard for you to find a window to gain infinite life, especially if they're being like cognizant of their Tormod's Crypt. So, yeah, if I had one more turn, I could have untapped and like gained infinite life with the Dredger's Insight, and that would have been a win. But they won the die roll, So I died before I could do that. Game 2. So I think this is where my error came from. This is like you kind of, it's hard to view Affinity as a fair deck, right? Because they're doing a lot of busted shenanigans. But it's like Affinity is not the deck where you need to mull aggressively to find sideboard cards like Neoform. Like with Neoform, you need that sideboard card in your hand, right? Especially for our deck. You kind of do for Affinity as well, but here's the thing. Sometimes they don't have an explosive opening. So what if you mull to like 5 or God forbid 4 and you find the sideboard card, but then they just go like turn 1 Saga Drum. And they don't have like the emissary, or they don't have all the zeros for the Kappa, right? It's like, it sucks. It sucks if you do that. So then you just have like a force in your hand, sure, and you can maybe get something, but then they have 7 cards in their hand and you have 4, right? So I mulled to 6 in round 2, and I had a fast Yogg. I had like Halfling into Young Wolf Cauldron plus like Yawgmoth. I'm like, oh, this is great, cool. Wasn't fast enough because I had to turn 1 Kappa. So, am I gonna play today? Or is that list just a chill talk stream? I'm gonna see how much time I have after I get through this. If I have enough time to get through, then I'll start a league. But I do have a box to open as well, so we're gonna be doing a little box opening. Are the Cubs worth the $60 per copy? I mean, it's a really good card. Should they be worth $60? I don't think so, but I don't have them either. So I was just borrowing them. So you and I are in the same boat. I would just say wait. I would say wait or borrow from friends, and use them that way. So I lose round 2. So then I go into round 3 and I get paired into Ruby Storm, and I'm like, God, why? Getting paired immediately from my camera okay? My camera tweaking out? There we go. Okay. Getting paired immediately from Affinity into Storm, which is, I'm like, come on, please. Not like this. Not like this. Wait for people to draft for some weeks. People are going to open pack standard seed. True. Swear holes, hello. So I get paired into Ruby Storm, and this is going to be the first instance of Badgermole, or the second instance of Badgermole coming in clutch. So I keep a hand. I win the die roll, thankfully, I believe, and I keep a hand that has a route to gain infinite life with a Dredger's Insight, Young Wolf, Cauldron. I just need to define the Ballista. So I'm able to just set up fast. I think I have a Halfling there too. I go Halfling into the Cauldron, and I do think they have a turn where they try to go off, but they're not quite there. I think they miss. They miss on like 2. They have 2 pretty bad impulse hits, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I'll be able to like buy myself a turn with that. Not gonna lie, oh, well, thank you. I picked it myself. No, I didn't. Anyways, so I think they miss, and I'm able to untap and gain infinite life, thankfully. But it was a very close call. And then game 2, so I get it in 2. So game 2. We're starting. They have I have a Thoughtseize in my hand turn 1 into a Badgermole on turn 2. I believe I have an Endurance, so I'm feeling pretty good. I was playing Chinese Yogg until Badgermoles are 100 for a non-foil. Yeah, I feel you on that one. So they go. I Thoughtseize them. Their hand is like Ral, Artist Talent, Ritual, Impulse, Hobbit something, right? So I don't have any removal in my hand, so I just take the Ral. I'm like, okay, cool, pass turn. And then they go to their turn, and they draw a Ral. I might be confusing this with another Ruby. I might be confusing this with another Storm game that happened later. Actually, that was a later one. That one happened later. I think for this one, I accelerate to a Mole. Okay, yes, this is what I do. So they play a Ral. And I have. Oh my gosh, man. My memory's so bad. Okay. I'm sorry. They get set up. They have a little bit of a slower start. Yes. So they don't start going off until turn 3 or turn 4, which gives me enough time to like I get a Badgermole Cub in play. I get a second one in play. And then I'm able to play a Yogg. So my board setup here, I can show like a visual. So my board setup is like, it's like Yogg, 2 lands, 2 Badgermole, a Cauldron. And then in the Cauldron, and then like a Halfling in the graveyard. So that was kind of my board setup on like turn 3 or 4, which was really good with Badgermole. Like that, I was only able to get set up this fast because of Badgermole. So, but I passed with no mana available. But my Soul Cauldron's untapped, so that's important. So I pass turn to them. They start going off. They have a Ral in play, and I need to kill this Ral before it flips. So I have just enough creatures in play. I have 3 creatures in play. And before they go to their turn, I activate the Cauldron, and I put the Halfling underneath it. And so I put the counter on the Badgermole Cub. So now, it's tapping for 3. It's tapping for 3 mana. Also, the turn before this, or on my turn when I was setting up, I completely miscounted, and I thought that I was only tapping for 2 when I should have been tapping for 3. So I think I could have played out like another thing, but I miscounted. Anyways, did I run Badger at the tourney? I did. That's what we're talking about right now. So I go to I pass to their turn. I technically have 3 mana, but they aren't thinking about that. So they start going off. They go like Manamorphose on the stack, Ral trigger. How does it tap for 3? Because there's 2 Badgermoles in play. There's 2, 1, 2. Did I also run Mushrooms? Mushrooms? I don't think so. So then they go Manamorphose. I go, okay, activate sack target. And they say, okay. And I go, okay, sack my other thing target. And they say, okay. And then well, before all that, I floated the 3 mana with the Badgermole. And then I sack the last Badgermole I target. And they say, okay, in response, I'm going to do another Manamorphose over the top. Trigger Ral. And I'm like, you help! You stop right there. You hold those phones. Because with the floating mana, with the generic floating mana, I proliferated with Yawgmoth because of Agatha's Soul Cauldron, of course. Being able to use the creature's ability with any color of mana. Thank you, Agatha's Soul Cauldron. So I'm able to proliferate in response, put the 3rd minus counter on the Ral. Feels very nice. And on top of that, I had the green mana up. On top of that, I had the green mana up with a Boseiju in my hand in case they followed up with like an Artist Talent or a Ruby. I would not have been able to do that if I did not have the Badgermole. I would not. They could have had a chance. There would have been a chance for them to flip their guy. I wouldn't have had Yogg in play. I wouldn't have been able to play Yogg that quickly without the Badgermole. So that was the first time of the main event where I'm like, wow, okay, Badgermole's putting in work. Badgermole is doing its job. So I'm able to kill the Ral in response. They can't really do anything after that. They don't have anything to follow up. And I'm able to just take it out, and we get there. Yes, sir. Taking out Ruby Storm, of all things, 2-0. So that felt great. Badgermole Cub, good. Yes, sir. Badgermole, baby, $60, but it's cool Magic card. Oof, it is a cool Magic card. We finally get something good. Here's the thing. We got the monkey's paw, dude. I'm like, please, we need something for Yawgmoth. Please, Wizards, give us anything. Okay. We'll give you a good creature. But it's going to cost $1 billion. That's what happened. So, I'm feeling pretty good going into round 4. I go up against Is It Prowess? Very nice person. I believe this person was also Portuguese, I think. Or there was something. They were over near Portugal, and we connected on that. I'm like, oh, I'm Portuguese. My dad was Portuguese. Hey, stuff like that. I don't know what I said. Did I top 8? Well, you gotta wait and see. I don't know. Gonna be banned at Standard real quick. We'll see. I don't know. I hope. Well, I don't know. I haven't played Standard, so I don't know how bad it is. But I hear it's pretty bad. So versus Prowess, I get a 2-0. I'm able to just get the Dredger's Insight in play with the Cauldron. Gain infinite life. Feels pretty good. It was very, very close. Oh, game 2 was very close. Game 2, I didn't have a Dredgers. I was like trying to find a way to kill them quickly. I was holding off with a Ballista under a Cauldron with Young Wolf, but I didn't have a Spy Masters. I didn't have the Dredgers, so I was just kind of like I was holding on. So I already know you talking. Oh, so this player. I find a Vexing Bauble because Vexing Bauble is actually very good against prowess. So I play the Vexing Bauble. I played it like 2 turns ago or something. They have a DRC and 2 cutters in play. So they're taking their turn. They're thinking, and they plot a slick shot show off when I have a bauble in play. And I didn't want to give anything away. I didn't want to like say anything. Like I didn't want to wait too long to respond, or else they would have like caught on. So I was just like, okay. They're like plot slick shot show off. I'm like, okay, you got it. I don't even look at my bauble. I'm like, yes, sure. And then they pass the turn because they don't have good attacks. Because they want a double spell on their next turn to like trigger the cutters. So I'm like, all right. I go to my turn. I untap. I don't find anything just yet. Maybe I think I find like just a chump blocker, like a creature. Pass turn, and then they go to their turn. What did they find? I don't remember what they found. It wasn't something. Oh, it was a bauble. No, it wasn't a bauble. It was something. I don't think it was a bolt or anything though. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't a bolt. It wasn't a lava dart. It wasn't a mutagenic. I don't remember. They find something. They play it. And then they go to cast the slick shot. And I'm like, trigger. Vexing Bauble. And they're just like, oh, no. They just had the Vexing Bauble blindness, dude. We take those. Yes, sir. So they still got the triggers on all of the cutters, but I was able to just have enough blockers in play to kind of just hold them off. I go to my turn. I think I find a Spymaster's Vault, and from there I'm just gonna get them. Preordain. I don't think it was preordained because I don't remember them like drawing cards. It wasn't an expressive iteration either, so I don't know. Let's see. What could it have been? Oh, it might have been a Swift Spear. I think it was a Swift Spear, I think. Cool. So I get that one. Feeling good. Then next we go into the Birthing Ritual deck. Birthing Ritual. Okay. So it was... the Control Freaky! Hey! Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Hey! Thank you. 86 people. Damn. I'm doing a little tournament recap over here of my RC tournament report. So, no gameplay just yet, but we're doing a little recap of my weekend here. So, thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you. So, going into round 6, I am up against... round 5, up against Sam. So, I'm up against Samwise. I forget if this person was in the Discord. I can't remember if they told me that or not. Were they at the RC? I don't know. If I did, I wish I saw them. So we go up. They just goldfish me. I think they win the die roll. They just goldfish me at game 1. They just go like goose into cat into Sam into sacrifice guy. And I'm like, all right, cool. Meat, not freak. Was I at the RC? Who are you asking? Now I'm confused. And then game 2, I'm able to slow them down. I drew like 3 fatal pushes. I drew all my fatal pushes, and I'm able to slow them down enough, so that felt good. Mambo, omatsuri, mambo. Hey. Dabu, dabu, yeda, yeda, omatsuri, mambo. Yes, sir. And then we go into game 3, and what did I do? In game 3, I think I'm able to just hold them off of a ritual. I think they get a ritual in play. I'm able to take out their creatures. Oh, this is what it was. So they had a ritual. They had no creatures. They weren't drawing into any creatures. I could tell that they were holding up a Court of Calling, which I was able to kind of just like put a stop on. And then they had to play a Yawgmoth. So they had a ritual in play. They had no creatures other than a Yawgmoth to play. They're one of that they play. And they ritual, they see nothing, and then they pass it back to me. I go to my turn. I have like a whole bunch of Badgermoles in play. I have a Cauldron. I have a Ballista, and I'm able to just like... I take out the Yawgmoth the hard way just by pinging it. But I don't have... I think I had to activate my Cauldron that turn, so I don't get the Yawgmoth under the Cauldron that turn. But they have no creatures in play. They have a ritual, but they can't win with just the one. They can't win off of one ritual activation unless they have a cat in the graveyard, which they didn't. So they pass the turn. I think they do find a creature, but it doesn't find anything. I go to my turn. I eat the Yawgmoth from the graveyard, and then that was pretty much it. Lights out, baby. Yes, sir. So I'm able to get that one. Felt good about that. And then we go up against Esper mid-range. I wish I played against this deck the entire time, because it was like mid-range, just Frog, Bowmaster, Tamio, Wan Shi Tong, which was not very impressive, by the way. Yeah, it was just like classic, just like basically Dimir mid-range, which we love those decks, right? So game one, I think I win the die roll. I get a halfling in play. I pass back to them. They don't kill the halfling. They get a Tamio in play. I go to my turn, and I play a Cauldron with the halfling, of course. And they immediately snap off the force pitch Habit-Hibida. I said, okay. And they said, oh no. They're like, oh, wait a minute. It's like, so unfortunately they wasted 2 cards. We cast Cauldron, and we also cast him to Turok, which is always nice. So after that, they were just like so far behind that they couldn't really do anything. And it felt good. And then I think in game 2, I resolve an early Grist, and I'm able to just keep them off the board. I keep their creatures off the board. I get a Yawgmoth under a Cauldron, I believe, or a Ballista under a Cauldron. I think I do a Ballista under a Cauldron eventually, and I'm able to just like do the Spy Master shenanigans and get them, and got it that way, yes sir. So felt very good going into that game, because Esper mid-range is a pretty good matchup for us, so felt good. And then we come to the funny match. So if you were here earlier, this name is familiar. This name should be familiar to you. This person's name is this is sadly frowned. This is the person, the homie, the GOAT, who scooped us in to the regional championship. This was our 5-0. This was our 4-0. This is our round 5 LCQ opponent going into this game. And jokingly, the day before, after they scooped me in, very nice of them. We're talking, we're chatting, and I'm like, oh yeah, dude, if we get matched tomorrow, dude, I'll concede to you. So imagine my reaction when I sit down, and he sits down, and we look at each other across the table. And this is the winning it. This is the winning it for day 2. We're both 5-1, and I'm just like, no. Why now? Why did it have to be now? Oh my god. So I'm fighting demons inside of me. I'm like, oh my god, I said I would concede to them because they scooped me in yesterday. I have to do it. I have to hold up to my word. And I asked him, I'm like, would you be mad at me if I said no? That's what I said. I said, would you be mad if I said no? And like the GOAT they are, they said, I understand. If this is for the winning in, I understand. I'm like, oh my God. You're too kind. You're too kind. If they had asked me one more time, if they said like, oh, you said yesterday, if they did something like that, I think I would have just said, I would have conceded, because that's kind of the person I am. I just like, okay, I said I would do it. I got to do it. But very thankful, very grateful that they gave me a chance to just play a normal game of Magic. Very GOAT status. Anyway, I still get my ass kicked. So hey, at the end of the day, they got it. So there you go. I wasn't even mad after I lost. But we had a good back and forth. Game 1, I get infinite life. Game 2, I keep a hand that has a bunch of removal, but I don't really have like a threat, so I can't keep up with them. And then game 3, switch those around. Game 1, they get it really fast because they win the die roll. Game 2, I'm able to keep up with them because I have removal. And then game 3, they won the die, or they're on the play again. And they just have like a guide pride start, but this time I don't have the culling ritual like I did earlier. And I do have Cauldron, I do have Dredger's Insight, I do have Young Wolf, but I just can't find the Ballista. Or no, I have Ballista, I have the Dredger's Insight, I have the Young Wolf, but I can't find the Cauldron. I had double Dredgers plus Rumble, so I dug 12 cards deep. I never saw a Cauldron, so unlucky. So B is not. No, that's not what I said. I said I would do it. But I was fighting myself because I'm like, dude, it's the winning in. It's the winning in. I'm like, are you gonna make me do it? Are you gonna make me? And they said no. If they asked me one more time, I would have done it. I would have 100%. Okay, but come on. Also, you can trust me. I never lie. I never make. I always tell the truth. Just like how I told the truth of Wasteland coming to Modern. So they get that game. So that now I'm 5-2. So I'm like, oh, okay, all right, just one more though, just one more. I just gotta get one more, and we're good. And then I get matched into Affinity again, and I deal with a turn 1 Kappa again. All right. So, yeah, I lose again because Affinity is, Affinity is Affinity, right? My history teacher always said, never trust a man with a... I wouldn't do that either. I don't know who that is. So this person, very good Affinity player, they were able to... They got game 1 just because of early Kappa, it is what it is. And then game 2, they actually made a very good sequence here of... They played Opal. They played like 3 zeros with an Opal, and then they followed up with Saga, which sucked because I had a Force in my hand, but it was screaming that they had Metallic Rebuke, but I felt like I just had to go for it because I had nothing else going on in my hand, and they had the Rebuke. If they sequenced out of order, if they played like Saga first, and then like 2 other artifacts, and then the Opal, then I could have gotten them because they didn't have blue mana, but they're a good player. God damn it, they were a good player. So they got it. So now I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like I'm X-3 now. I'm 5-3. Please just give me the one. And then I go up against Boros Energy as the last round for day 1. And I take it down. It was a back and forth though. I had to take it to game 3. I think they got it in game 1. Game 2, I take it back. And then game 3, I'm able to take it down. I gain infinite life with the Cauldron. I get an early Young Wolf with a Ballista. I go for a Young Wolf with a Ballista underneath early on before they have before they draw their Surgical. And thankfully they don't have the Surgical, and I'm able to just like chump block. Yeah, that felt good. This person also went after my lands. With when I had the lands as creatures, they killed the lands. I'm like, okay, they came back. So that felt pretty funny. And then I'm locked. So I'm like, okay, I made it. We're good to go. Locked in. We're locked and loaded for tomorrow. Just gotta win 6 games in a row. Easy. So to make the Pro Tour. So going into round 10, we start off by playing versus Is It Metalcraft, which is actually it's like a mid-range deck. It's not Affinity. So I saw Is It Metalcraft, and I'm like, why? Because I thought it was regular Affinity. So I'm like, why do you do this to me? But it was actually just like a normal, it was more mid-range with Tameo, Emery, what you would like normally expect Affinity to be playing, or like the old Affinity lifts. I think that this deck made, this was a second place deck. Lost to Titan, I believe. But thankfully, this is just a mid-range version, so I'm able to actually play a game of Magic against them. I'm able to just get a Cauldron and play early, cut them off of anything in the graveyard with Recursion from Emery, and I think I'm able to just close it out in 2. So felt good. And then round number 11 is when I get my 4th loss, unfortunately, versus Andrew. They were on Golgari Gruul. Eldrazi Brute-Scale, Jesus. So playing Brute-Scale, they goldfish me game 1. They win the play. They get the die roll. They win the die roll on the play, blah, 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 whatever. They just go like turn 1, Saga, into turn 2. Or they go turn 1, Blade? Yeah, they go turn 1, Blade, into turn 2, Saga plus Brute-Scale. And then the turn 3, they try to equip, and then I force to Boseiju the Blade, but they have a Saga on 2 that's coming off, so they're going to get another Blade next turn. So I go to my turn. and then I'm not able to get like a Yawgmothman play or anything in time, and then they untap and they make a billion Habitahibatas, and then they kill me. And then game 2, also I drew too many. I drew like no lands that game, by the way. In first game, I had like 2 lands in play. So if I actually had one more land, I would have been able to like do something. But I was stuck on 2 lands for the longest time. And then game 2, I draw too many lands, and that it was very close back and forth. Like we were both top decking at one point, but they were just able to draw like Saga into Saga. I had a point where my Grist was going to kill them. My Grist the ultimate for Grist was going to deal like 13, and we could have taken it to game 3. But I just couldn't draw. I just drew like land. I just needed 1 chump blocker for 1 turn to ultimate Grist, but I just couldn't find it. So they get it. They take us out. So we're X and 4 at this point, which is fine. We're still in contention for prizing. So I decided to stick it out. So we play, and then we get paired into a Storm again. I'm like, oh, why Storm? But I'm feeling pretty good about it because we did beat Storm earlier in the tournament. So we get matched into Storm. I believe they get game 1. Brute Scale took 2 of my lives. They've been, yeah, I feel you. I believe they get game 1. And I'm just like, yep, that makes sense to me. And then game 2, or did they get game 2? Did they get game 2? Oh, God, it's so hard for me to remember. No, I think, yeah, they do. I think they do get game 1, even though I had an endurance. They were able to combo through it. And then game 2, I'm able to put up a fast enough pressure. I think I gain infinite life in game 2. I'm able to buy myself enough time to gain infinite life, and then that felt good. And then game 3 was when I Thoughtseize them. So I kept a hand that was like, I had like Thoughtseize and then like Cauldron, some other stuff, but no removal. So I Thoughtseize them. I see Rao. I see like Artist Talent plus Rao. And then I'll set a force in my hand. So like, okay, I don't have removal, so I'm gonna take the Rao. So I take the Rao, and they go to their turn, and then they like play land, whatever, and then I do something, and then they go back and they play another Rao. I'm like, okay. So they drew a Thoughtseize bug, MTGO Thoughtseize bug. But I'm able to, I do a really weird play of like casting a force on a treasure token and the Artist Talent just to slow them down. And that was enough time for me to slow them down for 1 turn. And I think the following turn, I was either able to gain infinite life or do the Spy Masters combo with the Young Wolf. And, got it. Very close game, though. Very, very scary. But I was able to get it. And then round 13 versus Amulet Titan. For the first time, by the way, even though it was one of the most represented decks of the tournament. But yeah, I go up against Amulet Titan for the first time. And this was a sick one. This one was good. So I actually get game 1 on the draw. They go for like a turn 1. They have like turn 1 Saga Amulet. And I'm like, oh God, I'm so dead. And then they go, and I go to my turn, and I have an endurance in my hand. So I'm like, if this player goes for if they go for an analyst line, I can actually steal this game. So they go, I play like a Young Wolf, whatever, pass the turn. I play a Cauldron on turn 2, I pass the turn. And I'm actually set up to win the game. If I draw into a Spy Master's Vault, or if I find something, because I do have the combo available to me. I think I was missing just Spy Master's Vault, but I had Young Wolf, Ballista, Cauldron. So I passed turn to them. I had Dried Arbor plus Endurance in my hand. And then they find the second amulet. They start going off. They float a billion mana, play Lotus Field, Habitahiba, get Green Sun for Titan, get a Titan, get a Mirror Pool, copy the Titan, do it again, get another, get a Echoing Deeps, copy another Titan, and then they get. I just got here. No, I'm not starting over. And then they get a Simic Growth Chamber and a Teleria West. I'm like, okay, this is it. Here we go. I have to see if they're gonna take this line. So then they transmute, and they go. I'm like, they could get another Titan here, and I could be cooked, or they get the Analyst. So they get the Analyst. They get Summoner's Pact. They Summoner's Pact for the Analyst. I'm like, okay, you're saying there's a chance, because they haven't hasted any of their Titans. They just made 3 Titans. They didn't give any of them haste yet. So then they Analyst, they activate, And this whole time, I'm making it look like I have nothing. I'm like, okay, yep, show me, do the thing. And then you're going to get summoned pack, yep. Oh, sack your lands, yep. Those sacrifice, yep, okay. So I'm making it seem like I have nothing. So then they get the analyst, they play the analyst, they mill the 3. I'm making sure, like, okay, yep, trigger, yep, those go to the graveyard, yep, okay, I see. And then they activate, and they're grabbing the lands out of the graveyard, and I'm like, hold the phone. You hold the phone, right? You hold 1 minute. And then, boom! Endurance. Lands to the bottom, please. Lands to the bottom. So, yeah, I stopped them in the middle of their combo. They weren't dead to the pack trigger because they had 4 mana in play. They had 4 mana double green, so they weren't dead to the trigger. But I'm able to, I go untap, go to my turn, off the top, Spy Master's Vault. Boom. Goodbye. Very nice. So I was feeling great. I'm like, oh, yes, sir. Hell yeah. And then game 2 comes around, and I have my opening 7. I think they mull to 6. My opening 7 is like... my opening 7 is cracked. It's like 2 lands, Halfling, Cauldron, Ashiok. I'm like, yeah, sure, this is great. So if they don't have the Dismember on turn 1, like Ashiok just ends the game, basically. So yeah, I play Halfling on 1. They play a Saga. They go to their turn. They don't have the Dismember. Feeling good. And then we go back to my turn. I play the Ashiok, and then they can't search with the Saga. And we go for a couple turns back and forth, but I'm able to buy myself enough time to just like build up my Cauldron, get a Yogg in play, and feel good. And then they cast Escape Shift, and they can see. They cast Escape Shift when the Ashiok was still in play. So get that one, felt pretty good. And then going into so round 14 comes around, and I'm versus a guy named MTG Dance Battle. Like, okay, great username, first of all, very nice. And then I see Affinity Neoform. Affinity Neoform. Kind of crazy. Amulet players aren't cutting Saga plus board against Yogg anymore. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's not like they really expect Yogg, right? So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's just that maybe they just didn't expect. I mean, it was open decklist, so they know that I hadn't sideboard, but I don't know. But I'm up against Affinity Neoform. So I didn't read, or this was like the name of the deck list wasn't available online. So I sit down across my opponent, they hand me their deck list, and the first card I see is Neoform, because it's right in the center of the paper, and I'm just like why? Why do you gotta give me Neoform out of every deck in the room, man? Why? But then I start reading. The deck list. And what do we got going on here? We have Memnite Ornithopter, Pinnacle Emissary, Sojourner's Companion, Thought Monitor, Craterhoof Gristlebrand. No Kappa. No Kappa Cannoneer. So I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe we're okay. Maybe it's fine. So this was a very interesting list. It was a Neoform deck that was Affinity. It was using the Sojourner's Companion and the Thought Monitor to Neoform into either a Craterhoof or a Gristlebrand. That's actually pretty sick. But also scary, because we know how fast Neoform can be. But thankfully, well, I guess they can Neoform, I don't know. Thankfully, they did not kill us immediately. It was close, though. It was very close. So I go like my turn. They play a bunch of zeros turn 1. I go to my turn. I get it set up with like a Young Wolf, a Cauldron, Ballista. I think I'm very close to having the combo in play. I think I need to get like the Dredger's Insight down. And then they go to their turn. I think I have a Badgermole in play that has a counter on it, so I have access to 2 pings from Walking Ballista underneath the Cauldron. So they go to their turn. They have a Sojourner's Companion. They have like Sojourner's Companion. What is it? It was like Sojourner's Companion. Oh, they had a Construct from a Saga, a Ornithopter, and then they just Neoformed the Sojourner's Companion into a Craterhoof. So I was at 16, and this was gonna be like exactly lethal coming across the board, but I was able to because I had the counter on the land from the Badgermole. I was able to actually kill the Ornithopter before the Craterhoof trigger, and instead of taking like 20 or something, I only took 14. So I go all the way down to 2. If they had one more creature in play, I was just super dead. But being able to take out the Ornithopters what saved me. I go to my turn, untap, boom, Dredgers, boom, infinite life. Yes, sir. So they agree that they couldn't win from that. We go to the next game. And then next game, I think they have to mull. I think they mull to 6. And you can imagine that this deck doesn't really mull too well because it's a Neoform deck. It can be the draws can be kind of awkward. Infinite life, yes sir, yes sir. But I'm able to. I think we have it goes a little bit long, I think, but I'm able to just keep them off of anything. I'm able to keep them off of any threat just by forcing. I forced. I think I went to their upkeep and I forced their Saga plus their Sojourner's Companion, so they couldn't they couldn't Neoform into anything. So I think I bought myself enough time to not die, and then I just eventually killed them, I think, with the Spy Masters combo. Cool deck, though. Very nice player. Neoform jump scare, but not the Neoform that I was worried about. So, got it. And then to cap off the tournament, of course, no league or no Yawgmoth match would be complete without playing Eldrazi Ramp. So we play into Eldrazi. Very nice opponent as well. I mean, all my opponents were very nice. Again, like I said earlier, it was very nice meeting all of them. I had no issues with any of them. They were all very nice people. Hope to see them at future tournaments. But I was against Eldrazi Ramp, and we're chatting up the entire time because it's the last round. We're both X and 4 at this point, so we're not too worried about winning or losing, right? Because neither of us can make the Pro Tour X and 4, unfortunately, unless you have like insano breakers. But I don't think either of us do. So we're chatting up, having a good time. They get game 1. I think they get an early. They get an early Myco spawn into an Ugin, and I'm like, all right, you got it. And then game 2, I'm able to get really set up with the combo, but I'm playing around Z command, and they're telegraphing the Z command, so I know that they have it, and like they're about to cast a spell, and they're like, oh wait, no, I can't do that because they wanted to hold up the Kozilek's command, so they're thinking, and then. I think they do fire off the Kozilek's command. Or was it that game? Or was it the previous? No, it was that game. So I get a Yawgmoth in the graveyard somehow. And then I activate. I already have the combo in play. So I have the Young Wolf plus the Ballista under the Cauldron. And I have a Spy Master's Vault underneath. I already showed them the combo earlier. Because I was about to go for it. They only had 1 mana up. But they had it on a Holy Heat. So it stopped me from doing the Connive. So this is later in game 2. They are holding up a Z command, and I activate target the Yawgmoth, trying to get it under the Cauldron. And at this point, they're like tanking, and they activate, or they cast the Z command, targeting the Yawgmoth, and like exile are making a spawn. And I'm like, okay, response, I will ping my Young Wolf, and then kill you. So that happened. Got game 2, and then game 3, I think I had the mull. I think there was a spot where I had to go in Green Sun for an Endurance just to keep them off of Emrakul mana when I didn't want to. Like I would have much rather liked to have a Grist in play. No Z command ban countdown. Well, we got the ban list already. Ban list had already came and went. I might put a timer up there for what? What's the other card that people are complaining about? Someone said a card to me and I forgot. Oh, Amulet. Yes, that was it. Thank you. Amulet. I might put it up there tomorrow, maybe. We'll see. I don't really have a problem with Titan. I think it's fine. But a lot of the Titan players are agreeing that something's going to get banned. Something is getting banned from Amulet because of, I don't know. A lot of House of Mana is like, yeah, something's getting banned from Titan. So we don't know. It's kind of weird though. It's kind of weird to like, wouldn't it be just embarrassing to ban Aftermath Analyst? Wouldn't it be just kind of silly? Isn't it like a common? Aftermath Analyst for the Infinite? But then can't they just do it with Lumra? I know Lumra doesn't have the sack activation, so maybe they can't go Infinite with Lumra. And maybe Lumra is more fair. Maybe they can only do it once. It became popular hate on time because the nuts wins it can sometimes get. Yeah, well, I think a lot of the hate for Titan comes from how unique the deck is, right? Like no other deck in the format is doing what Titan is doing. So then when you lose to the combo, you're kind of like, what the heck? What the heck just happened? Right? It's not like someone's gaining infinite life or like making a billion or like, you know, pinging you with ballista, right? It's something kind of like that's out of left field. I think it's the what's the word? I think it's like how odd the deck is what makes people not like it. Also, it's very hard to interact with because like lands, right? It's not, you can't counter a land. Woodland exists in other decks. Ban Lotus Field easy. True, actually. People that hate on Titan decks never played against Summer Bloom deck is fine. True, actually. I mean, I think Lotus Field makes sense, actually. Ban Saga? No, they're not banning Saga. Come on. Let's not get silly here. Saga's fine. I think Lotus Field is definitely one of the harder things to interact with because you can't even target it. It's hexproof. I mean, it's now 10 times more stable than the Summer Bloom version. I don't know. I didn't play during that time, so I can't say anything. So then, yeah. So I get game 2, and then game 3, we're going back and forth. But yeah, I have to get an endurance to cut them off of a potential Emrakul, which they didn't have. But then they end up finding a Ugin off the top and just take me out of the game, unfortunately. If you let chat pop up on Bantalk, you end up with that one guy's list. The one guy. Oh, is it are you talking about the commander drama? The commander, the dual master Hobbit Hebidum? 200 plus. Oh, God. Oh, Ami. Oh. Yes, Ami. Oh, my God. The guy that I made a video on. He's a local over here, actually. I know him personally. We've like talked and played before. He's a nice guy, but don't really agree with his ban opinions. It was funny. Oh, I wish we could go back to that time. I wish we could go back to complaining about Teferi and Bloodmoon and whatever else. Red and 6, right? So that was my tournament. So then I finished. It's a few place for me. I was doing a recap. Come on. So that was my tournament. That was all 20 rounds. I ended up going 15-5 if you count the LCQ. 10-5 on the actual event. I made top 128, so I've queued for the next regional championship. I made a little bit of money, a little bit of pocket, gas money, right? But no, I feel like I was very happy with how I did this tournament. Obviously, the goal is to be on the pro tour, right? Obviously that would have been nice, right? But there's always next time. I will keep grinding for it, but had a great time. Badgermole, very impressive over the weekend. A lot of spots where I wouldn't have been able to do things. I would not have been able to get Yogg out as soon as I did without Badgermole. Wouldn't have been able to play out Yogg plus other stuff. Also talking about any of the ban, even though Infinity is the best deck, it's not close. Ban Scape Shift. The card is great job, bud. It's good to see Yogg. Hey, thank you, Golgari. Thank you, the factual Golgari clan. Yeah. Very nice. There was also a Yogg Brute Scale player who made the Pro Tour. I met them, was chatting with them all weekend, very excited for them, celebrated with them. I saw you and Dingo at Omega Mart during the weekend, but didn't want to bug you guys. I said I didn't get. Glacian, you gotta do that. You gotta come up, you gotta bug us. Come on. I give you permission. I give anyone permission to come up and say hi to me whenever. Come on. I'm not gonna care. Listen. People, I know how you feel, because that's how I feel when I see someone like that. But I'm giving you permission. It's okay. It's okay. You can't. Because I love chatting with people. I love talking about Magic. I love it when both those things come together. Okay? Yes, sir. So please feel free to next time, whenever. So I think the next RC is in Portland in January, I believe. I think it's standard. I think that's the next one. I'm probably going to that one. But we'll see. Yeah. So that was my tournament. Had a fun time. Had a great time. Would definitely love to run it back.